drones, robots, and a heart. It's not the title of a new animated series. These are things that Leonardo da Vinci worked on more than 500 years ago. And today, scientists use these works of the famous artist to develop modern technologies. Da Vinci knew something about the heart that modern doctors have only discovered recently. How is this possible? He was a genius, that's how. We'll look at the famous works of the inventor, but only those that you've probably never heard of. For a long time, scientists have been trying to figure out the function of the mysterious thing that is located in the human heart. This is a small muscular structure that looks like a fork in a road, or a tree root that goes deep down into the ground. It's called trabeculae. Doctors realized its function only recently, but Leonardo da Vinci noticed these tiny roots more than 500 years ago. And his observations inspired scientists to study this part of the heart in 2020. Specialists using MRI scans, computer models, and mathematical formulas to determine what the trabeculae are. And Leonardo da Vinci just drew it in his notebook after carefully examining a dissected human heart. In his diaries, he added thin, lacy lines, like snowflakes, to the image of the heart. Those snowflakes were the trabeculae. The famous scientist suggested that this network was necessary to preserve the heat inside small vessels around the beating heart. The only thing da Vinci didn't realize was how much this network affected human health. Modern scientists have studied the data of more than 18,000 people and found out that the structure of the trabeculae affect the functioning of the heart and determine the risk of developing cardiovascular diseases. And the most interesting thing is that the structure of these tiny branches is directly related to the human genetic code. That is, DNA dictates the structure of the trabeculae of your heart. But why is it important? Studying the roots of a tree helps to better understand the tree itself and how it withstands storms. The same goes for the trabeculae. These structures show the problem with the heart that a person needs to prepare for. Also, these tiny branches help to better figure out how the heart works. Of course, Leonardo da Vinci hardly knew how to conduct such research, but just imagine what would happen if such scientists lived today. Do you think humanity would be more advanced? Probably yes. And not only in medicine, but also in robotics. Yes, Leonardo da Vinci managed to invent a robot, and it wasn't just any robot. It was a big, mechanical lion. It could move, raise its head, and open its chest, which contained lilies. It was a real Renaissance steampunk. Only da Vinci didn't use steam engines. He used mechanics and physics. It was not just an invention, but also a diplomatic symbol, an innovation during the Renaissance. You've probably heard of the influential and powerful Medici family. In 1494, they were expelled from Florence for a number of reasons. And of course, they were eager to return to power. But for this, the Medici needed to enlist the support of the French crown. One of the Medici family members was Giovanni de' Medici. He asked da Vinci to make a beautiful gift for King Francis I that would flatter His Majesty. The famous inventor came up with the idea to create a mechanical lion. And of course, such a gift made a great impression on the people of the 16th century. Just imagine how cool it looked 500 years ago. Everyone around gives some beautiful paintings, silks, diamonds, and luxury items to the king. And then, a robotic lion appears with a lily on its chest. It would be interesting to see the reactions of those who saw this robot. Interestingly, the word robot didn't even exist at that time. Unfortunately, we haven't preserved the drawings of that lion, and of course, we don't have the original invention. But we found fragments of its appearance in the Madrid Da Vinci Codex and in some other surviving recordings by other Renaissance artists. Some of them said that the lion could roar and move independently for a long distance, but obviously, this was an exaggeration. In the 16th century, similar inventions used heavy weights and the flow of water to create movement. But Leonardo da Vinci used complex gears. Similar to the clockwork of that time, coil springs, and other parts. It was a delicate piece of work that resembled Leonardo's robot, another invention made by this brilliant scientist that looked like a knight. For the knight, Da Vinci created a complex system of arm articulation and torso rotation to accurately reproduce human movements. To create the robotic lion, Da Vinci studied the anatomy of this animal. After years of observation and study of internal organs and joints, he used all these to create his masterpiece. In fact, it was an early prototype of modern robotics. All this was long before artificial intelligence, lasers, microchips, and other technologies. At that time, such machines were created not to increase productivity, but to impress and surprise people. Perhaps Da Vinci would have been able to shock the public if he had invented a real flying machine. No, not that famous hang glider prototype, but the prototype of a modern drone. Almost all modern drones have one common problem that scientists around the world are trying to solve. And the solution to this problem was proposed by Da Vinci more than 500 years ago. He drew an image of an aerial screw that resembles an ancient descendant of the modern drone. It had one big rotating screw in the middle, instead of multiple propellers. And it seems that this screw had helped scientists a lot recently. The most urgent problem of drones today is their noise. Drones are everywhere. They make cool nature videos, shoot movies and TV series, rescue people stuck in mountains and other difficult places, deliver things, water crops, and do a lot more. And all this is accompanied by noise, which irritates the human ear. All of those small propellers emit high-frequency sinusoidal sounds that bounce off the ground, making them even louder and longer-lasting. So, scientists began to look for a solution to this problem. For example, they've developed a special acoustic metamaterial that can mute sound by 94%. This material should be installed under the drone's fans, blocking the sound wave going to the ground. They probably came up with a few more solutions, but they also decided to try using the drone design developed in the 15th century by Leonardo da Vinci as an experiment. They didn't reconstruct the exact model of the ancient flying machine, but they uploaded all the parameters of this invention into a computer and generated the flight conditions to create a simulation where the aerial screw would work. The scientists were surprised. This thing actually succeeded. It's easy to imagine how it works. The aerial screw produces rotational movements to create lift, that is, to fly. And it seems that in 2025, this is a rather cumbersome invention. Modern drones with propellers are much more mobile and faster. But the engineers wanted to find out the aeroacoustic noise characteristics and mechanical power of this invention and compare them with today's propellers. Computer simulations showed the aerial screw emitted much less noise and provided higher mechanical power. How is this possible? Thanks to the laws of physics. The surface area of the aerial screw is larger than that of modern propellers. It rotates more slowly, but it creates the same lifting force. This means it consumes less energy. The noise from its wide surface has a lower frequency. The screw releases air vortices along with the sounds, and the sound waves inside the vortices dissipate faster. So it can really help scientists solve the noise problem of modern drones. What does this experiment tell us? That old ideas just get recycled as new ones. In the case of Leonardo da Vinci, this is exactly the case. What do you think? How many more Renaissance superstar inventions can be used for modern technology? It would be cool to create a high-tech company that would specialize in inventions based on Da Vinci's drawings. What would you like to turn into reality?
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.